Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we are going to be solving some quadratic equations by using the factorization method. So we have our first question as x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation since we have the highest power as 2 of our variable x, okay? So now how do we solve this? By solve, what it means is we are trying to find the value of x, okay? The first thing that we need to do is we need to factorize this left-hand side. So let's do that. So we have or x squared minus. So to factorize this, we have to break the middle term 3 into two terms. And we have our x over here minus 10 equals to 0. Now, when splitting this middle term 3, we have to look at the symbol over here, which is our minus. And we put that symbol over here. So we have minus over here. Now we need to put two numbers over here so that when we subtract those two numbers, we'll get our 3. And we have a lot of those numbers like 5 minus 2 is 3. Similarly, 4 minus 1 is also 3. Or 6 minus 3 is 3. So there are lots of numbers that will give us 3. Now to find out which option is correct, we need to look at our first number, okay, which is 1 over here when there is nothing. And our last number, which is our 10 over here. And then we multiply those two numbers, 1 and 10. It will give us 10. So 1 times 10 is 10. Now when choosing our option, the difference should be 3, but the product of those two numbers should be 10. So the product of these two numbers that we are going to put here should be the product of the first and last term, which is 10, and the difference should be 3. Now when you look at our options, what we'll see is 5 minus 2 is 3, so the difference is 3, and 5 times 2 is 10. So this is our correct option. So let's put those two numbers over here. So we have 5 minus 2 over here. Or now we just open up our bracket. So we have x squared minus 5 times x is 5x. Minus minus will give us plus. So 2 times x is 2x. Minus 10 equals to 0. Or now we just take common of the first two terms and the second two terms. Okay. So in the first two terms, we can take x as common. And we get x minus 5 remaining here. Plus, in the second two terms, we can take 2 as common. And again, we get x minus 5 over here. Now, if you have problem taking common, there is a separate video on how to take common, which is very important, by the way. And the link for that video is in our description box below. So let's continue. Or now we have x minus 5 over here as well as here. So we can take x minus 5 as our common. And then we get our x plus 2 remaining here equals to 0. And now that we have factorized our left-hand side, we can easily find the value of x. How? So what we're going to do is we're going to write here either and or over here. So what's going to happen here is either this x plus 2 is going to that side, right? So since this is in product form, when it goes to that side, it becomes divide. So it becomes divided by x plus 2. And what we'll get is either x minus 5 equals to 0, because 0 divided by x plus 2 is 0. Or what we could do is instead of this x plus 2, we could move this x minus 5 over there. And since this is also in the product form, when it goes to that side, it becomes divide. And we'll get x plus 2 equals to 0. And now we solve these two things. So either we have x minus 5 equals to 0. So when 5 goes to that other side, it becomes plus 5. So we have x equals to 5. Or in this case, we have x plus 2 equals to 0. And we get x equals to, when that plus 2 goes to the other side, minus 2. And then we have found the value of x. So there are two values of x. So one of them is 5 and the other one is minus 2. And then we have solved our question. Now let's do another one. Let's say we have x squared minus 27x plus 182 equals to 0. Again, first we need to factorize our left-hand side, right? So we have x squared minus, we need to break this 27 into two terms. We have our x over here plus 182 equals to 0. We look at the symbol over here, which is plus. We put that symbol over there. So we need two numbers, which when added will give us 27. And which when multiplied should give us the product of our first and our last number, which is 1 and 182, right? And the product of those two numbers is 182. Now we need to put two numbers over here so that when we add them, we'll get 27, right? And when we multiply them, it should give us 182. Now, how do we find those two numbers? So what we can do is we can prime factorize this number 182, which is the product of our first and last term. So let's do that. So we have 2, 91s are 182, and 7 times 13 is 91. So we have 182 equals to 2 times 7 times 13. Now what we need is only two numbers, right, to fill up here. So there are three numbers here. Now we need to make these numbers two numbers so that the product is 182. What we can do is we can group these two numbers and we get like 2 times 7 is 14, right? So 14 times 13 is also 182. And we know that 14 plus 13 is 27. And then we have found our two numbers, which when added give us 27 and which when multiplied give us 182. Now let's put those numbers over here. So we have one of the number as 14, the next number as 13. So 14 plus 13 is 27 and 14 times 13 is 182. Now we can easily factorize this. So we have x squared minus 14x minus plus is again minus 13x plus 182 equals to 0. Or again, we take common of the first two terms. We can take x as common and we have x minus 14 here. Minus, we can take 13 common over here and we have x. Now we have minus in front. So this plus is going to change into minus and 13 times 14 is 182 equals to 0. Or now what we can do is we can take x minus 14 as common over here. And then we have x minus 13 left equals to 0. Now we just do either or, right? So we have either this bracket over here is 0. So we have x minus 14 equals to 0. Or we have this bracket over here equals to 0. So we can write x minus 13 equals to 0. So if x minus 14 equals to 0, then x is equal to, when that minus 14 goes to the other side, it becomes plus 14. Or if x minus 13 equals to 0, then x is equal to, when that minus 13 goes to the other side, it becomes plus 13. And done. We have found the two values of x again. So one of them is 14 and the next one is 13. And that's how you can solve any quadratic equations by using the factorization method. So if you enjoyed our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for future maths videos. Thank you.